We're gonna make homemade pumpkin puree. So what I've got in front of me, this little thing, and you're all like, oh, that's so cute. That's because this is not what you're used to seeing, but this is actually a pumpkin pie pumpkin. So this is the variety that you want to use for pumpkin pie. It actually does have a little bit more flavor. It is a little bit sweeter, but this is truly pumpkin, and it's not gonna be super sweet because it's pumpkin. So the hardest part that I'm gonna do right now is actually the cutting of it. And so what we're gonna do here is the instructions. So there's actually instructions that come on the pumpkin. There's a little sticker and there's instructions, and it actually tells you cut off the stem, cut off the bottom, cut it up into squares, and put it into the oven. The cutting's the hardest part. I don't want to do all that. So the stem is going to stay on, and I'll show you. What I do want to do though is I want to get it cut in half, and so in order to do that, I am going to go kind of an angle. And pumpkin is super, super hard to cut through, so you want to be careful. This is the part, and you all know if you carved pumpkins with your kids, that this is the part that usually you do because it's too hard for them to do, right? So you go ahead and take your knife and you put it at an angle, and it helps you if you have a really, really sharp knife. So you put it at an angle so you can get started, and I kind of rock back and forth so I can get going in there. And then I drive the tip of my knife down because that's the sharper part, and I keep rocking it back and forth. And so, you see, this is also my weekend workout, I guess, if you want to call it that. I wasn't kidding when I said this is a workout. Almost there. And some of you are thinking, I'll just go out and buy the canned pumpkin. Like I said, this is the hardest part. Once we get through here, then we're good. Okay, whew. Now I need to sit down. All right, and let me show you. So then you've got the inside of your pumpkin, right? And it's pretty close to half, not exactly, but it's pretty close to half. You've got the inside of your pumpkin. And so if you like pumpkin seeds, you could actually go ahead and scoop all this out, rinse off the extra pulp, and be able to roast the pumpkin seeds. But in my house, we're just not huge fans of the pumpkin seeds. So, you know, maybe we should try to plant it. There you go, hollowed out. Okay, so this side, I'm gonna leave it just as is because I wanna show you something. And so I'm gonna ask, will you give me the pumpkin that was from the oven, please? Thank you. So I wanna show you that you could either follow the instructions that was on the pumpkin, and I actually think that that it was a little too long. Normally I do it less, but I thought, you know, Denise, for once, just follow the instructions, and I think it was too long. So what I've got here is I've got half of a pumpkin, see, with the stem on. I just left the stem on because, again, too hard to cut through, right? And then what I'm going to do, it's on our silicone cookie sheet. So then that way my pan, I won't have to clean it. Oh, might be easier to use my tongs because it's hot. Yeah, it's a little mushy. I think this is too long. I think 30 minutes was too long, but that's what the instructions said. So I want to show you. There's the puree, or not the puree, the pumpkin. And then all I would need to do is scoop out the center. the other one, calling. So I got most of that out. Yeah? Okay. That had been sitting out, so I did it for a half hour and then it was sitting out for about a little more than 10 minutes before I actually scooped it. That's why it was still warm, but that's why I was able to handle it. Okay, so on this other one, usually I would say let it sit a few minutes, but I just want to be really cognizant of your time, and thank you for taking the time to join me today to watch me make pumpkin puree. Let's see if you can see this. I'm gonna hold it, let's put it closer so you can see. We'll put it here. Can you see that if I put it here? And then I wonder if you can see the steam when I open it up. And so the microwaves are not getting to the food. The way that it cooks, maybe I can tilt it this way, you can see. Can you see the holes there? Let me hold it up. Can you see? Yeah, now you can see the holes in the steamer basket. So what happens is this bottom portion here, the water was just at the very bottom, and there's no metal on the base here. So what happened was the microwave heated the water created the steam cooked the pumpkin. And that's what we were trying to do. We were trying to steam the pumpkin. When you steam your fruits and veggies, and again, people say, well, why would you steam fruit? Well, pumpkin's a fruit. So it just depends on how you're planning to use it. But when you steam cook them versus other forms of cooking, you actually retain more vitamins and nutrients. You don't lose them from them being boiled out or from them being overheated in the oven and cooking away with the dry hot heat, right? So we've got this pumpkin. So let me show you. Let me pull a piece out there. And it is hot. So I'm going to take a piece out. I'm going to put it on my cutting board, just like I did with the other one. And then, I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold it. Maybe I'll use my tongs to hold it because this one is still steamy hot. And then we scoop our pumpkin right out, same way. And eggs. So it was hard to do baked goods, right? But what I just want to show you is the last step to turn it into a puree. And again, I'll put that other one in here in just a minute. But this is the other part of my morning workout, right? My weekend workout.